Hi, welcome to New Orleans Career Center. My name is Mrs. Allison McKinney, and I will be your instructor for Introduction to Engineering and 3D Modeling. Again, I will be your instructor. My name is Mrs. McKinney. Feel free to call me Mrs. McKinney, but a lot of kids call me Miss Mac. I'm married, I have two kids, and I'm a little interesting in that my son attended NOCC for 2 years, where he did gain his industry certification in Autodesk Inventor. He is now going off to college to major in ocean engineering. Also, I've worked with Project Lead the Way for several years, teaching engineering to elementary school kids and specifically to middle school kids. So, engineering is something I've been doing for quite some time. A little bit about myself is that I'm a native New Orleanian. I am from New Orleans. I'm a proud War Eagle, graduate of McDonough 35, a choice, not an echo. I received my bachelor's degree from Clark Atlanta University, where my bachelor's degree is actually in community health education. I love science, but something about that engineering has been with me for quite some time. My career as an educator, I've been teaching for about 15 years. My very first teaching job came in Chicago, Illinois, where I taught biology and environmental science at John Marshall High School. That was baptism by fire. I had never worked in an environment like that. It was a little rough, but I got through it. But Chicago was too cold for me, so I decided to move back home. So I worked at Marion Central Catholic Middle School up until Katrina. My husband joined the military and we moved to North Carolina, where I lived there for about 7 to 8 years. But I decided that I wanted to move back to New Orleans. And when I did, my job, I worked at Milestone Sabbath Academy, where I taught 7th, 8th, and 9th grade science. I taught there for about 2 years. Then I went to Einstein Charter School, and I taught there for a year, where I taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade science. And most recently, I taught at Hines Charter School, where I taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade science, but I also taught them engineering. My path to a teacher was not a straight one. My path to getting my bachelor's degree was not a straight one. I am the oldest of three kids. And so I went away to college my freshman year, and my parents told me, we can't afford to send you back. So when I came home, I decided that I was going to use my hands to help me pay for school. So I became a licensed cosmetologist. I always kind of liked doing hair, and so it was quite natural for me to go into that field. Being a cosmetologist did help me pay for school, and I still use the trade to this day. I do my own hair, I do my daughter's hair, I have a toolbox full of fingernail polish. Oh my gosh, love it. It kind of relaxes me. The other thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to be a chef, but I didn't have the money to go to school to be a chef. So what I did was I took my skills and I used them to my advantage. So when I lived in Atlanta, I did some catering and I used my niche. I catered New Orleans food. But then I got married and we moved to Chicago. And in Atlanta, I was eating a lot of Caribbean food. So in Chicago, I did a lot of catering that was more Caribbean, Jamaican based. But I love to cook all sorts of food and I love to learn all sorts of new things. One of my hobbies, besides cooking, is gardening. I love to see things grow. I love flowers. I love plants. I can really get into it. And so I'm really thinking about dabbling a little bit in landscape architecture, landscape design, which is still under that engineering umbrella. While I lived in North Carolina, I didn't teach. I worked in corporate America. So one of my jobs was I worked at Kellogg's. And so we didn't do cereal, we did snacks. So Cheez-Its, grasshoppers, fudge stripes, Rice Krispie treats. Those were the things that we packed. My job was to hire and fire and to make sure that production stayed moving. I feel that being a human resources for a time gives me a unique advantage to you as a trainee because not only can I help you get your job, I can also help you keep your job. And that's the most important thing. It's not getting the job, it's keeping the job. The other thing that I did was quite unique was I worked in security. I worked for the company that did security for Family Dollar and Dollar General. I did compliance, which means I had to make sure they followed all the rules. But I also did some voice recording. So if my voice sounds a little familiar, because if you go into a Family Dollar or a Dollar General and you hear someone say that we are here for your safety and protection, that was me. And I recorded that about 10 or so years ago. It still shocks me to this day that they still use my voice. So let's talk about engineering. Engineering is fun. However, you will get frustrated, and that's natural. Whenever you learn something new, it's frustrating. It's not what I'm used to, it's not what I'm accustomed to. But my job as your instructor is to make that process a whole lot easier. So I want to explain to you some of the things that we're going to use to teach you engineering and 3D modeling. So first, Silent Professor. That is the platform that we're going to use to actually teach you how to 3D model. They're going to have lots of videos. They're going to give you some tutorials. They're going to ask you to design some things. You're going to want to pull your hair out, but it's going to be okay because I went through it too. Project Lead the Way is what we're going to use to learn more about engineering, that process, the design process. We're going to have some instant challenges where you have to think fast and design fast and be ready to present your ideas to the public. Now, Autodesk Inventor is what you're actually going to get certified in. This is where we're actually going to do the 3D modeling. It's fun, and the more you work with it, the better you get at it. And lastly is Schoology. Schoology is where we're going to communicate. Don't worry, I'm going to give you another video on Schoology and how to use Schoology. But just know that our communications for New Orleans Career Center will come through Schoology. So I wanted to give you or show you some examples of some of the things that we're going to do. So yes, you'll make a cube. Yes, you'll make some toys. They can be fun. It's going to be up to you how hard it is. But I love a challenge and I love to challenge my students. So you may feel inclined to do a harder toy. The other thing that you're going to do, so not only will you design a toy for yourself, you're going to take a toy that already exists and you're going to recreate it. You're going to design an entire car. Trust me, you're going to get frustrated. You're going to need to take a break. You're going to need to take a walk. You might even say a few bad words, but it's okay because my job is to help you get better at it. And we're going to work through it. Just as an FYI, everything that you're going to learn this year, I had to learn in 2 weeks. So I cried. I about pulled my hair out. So I understand the frustration? Yes. And I have 2 kids that are in college that are doing distance learning. So I'm right there in the trenches with you. I understand that it gets frustrating, but I'm here to make that process go a whole lot easier. How to contact me? Well, one is by email, which is allison@nolacc.org, or you can call me by phone, or you can reach me through Schoology. Again, I'm going to do another video giving you all the ins and outs of Schoology and how to use Schoology. I want to end this by letting you know I truly love teaching. And here is a picture of one of my classes from last year. We had a ball. As you can see, I have kids from all schools. We had fun, we enjoyed ourselves, and we made learning fun. And my job is to help you get your certification, but have it fun at the same time. My name is Mrs. McKinney, but you can call me Miss Mac. I hope you enjoy your day. Bye bye.